Hardy. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Learning and Teaching here in Reading Public Schools. We are really honored to have the Wampanoag Nation singers and dancers with us here today. This is a really exciting event for our schools and for the town of Reading to host them. As we get started, I just wanted to thank a few groups that have made today possible. The Reading Public Library is hosting a book table today. So under the tent, if you want to learn more about the Wampanoag people, there are books that you can peruse. I also want to thank the Town of Reading Office of Equity and Social Justice for their support, and thank you to Albert Plus for being here with us today. And finally, I want to thank the Reading Cooperative Bank. They generously donated water, so there's bottled water under the tent if anyone is thirsty. I also want to let you know that today's event is interactive, so please don't be shy, especially if you're a little chilly. Please feel free to join in and be part of the celebration. And I just want to also just say, one of the really important reasons that we have this event is because something that we value in Reading is to learn about different cultures and communities. We think that that's a really important way to ensure that other people aren't dehumanized and that we understand who they are, what they value, and what their history is. So thank you for coming today to learn and to be part of this community event.
Good day, everybody. My name is Adequin. I'm from the Mashpee Wampanoag and Narragansett tribes. I'm here today with the Wampanoag Nation singers and dancers, and we'll go down the line and introduce ourselves. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for having us here today. They call me Tamok. I'm Jim Peters, Mashpee Wampanoag. And it's so nice to be here, and we're bringing the sun out here for us, and we expect you all to dance with us, so thank you.
Hi there, my name is Michelle St. John. I live in Mashpee. I'm the newest member of the group. I've been with the group now for about 3 years. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having us, and yes, we're very happy to see the sun come out. Perfect timing. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you enjoy it.
Wendamatop this week on Konkiwak. My name is True Coles. I come from the Wampanoag community, sister tribe to Mashpee. I'm glad to be here to dance and sing these songs with you guys and for the rest of our family. And I hope you guys jump in the circle and help us sing these songs.
Kwe. Kwe. Square cross ni tompa. Natasui sana wan widen. Nutamas masipi wampanaak. Nano hagani
Mashitakipekwat, Katapatanamu, what you want me tonpasak, Ka Kuamana, Shahoyonishne, Samadanaski, Neo. Kwe, greetings. On behalf of our nation, we are the Wampanoag Nation Dancers and Singers, and we feel grateful to be asked to come up here to the land of the Massachusetts people, which is a little further north from our territory. Many of you are familiar with our territory. I think you call the place Cape Cod. I believe you've heard of it. How many of us have been there? Nice show of hands. Good to see, good to see. We try not to be stingy with the place, as you may know. And it's obviously not just the first that the Pilgrims discovered coming from their side of the world. It's the first piece of land that the sun discovers every morning. And that is what gives us the identity that we can only find in that place. And we're very grateful that despite many of the government tactics over the colonization of this continent, many tribes, as we all know, were forced on trails of tears, forced to be removed from their land. And strongly for us, we've been able to still sustain our identity solely relies on our ability to be on that land. So here amongst the Massachusetts people, the land they now call Massachusetts, that I'm sure many of you call home, but this particular place, it was a very different terrain. It was a very rocky, hilly place. And if any of you are familiar with the Blue Hill, which I'm pretty sure you are, if you see it, you'll be reminded how rocky and barren those hills were. The rocks prevented a lot of the trees from growing there, as you can still see to this day at the Blue Hill. So Beacon Hill, Mission Hill, Bunker Hill, all of those hills that were completely destroyed, blown to bits, and spread out to create the current real estate you now call Boston. The reason why Back Bay was filled in. And unfortunately for those people, it almost literally removed the ability for them to maintain their identity. The transformation of the land, even if they were able to stay on it, the land itself cannot even identify itself today. So that's a tragedy beyond humankind even. So as an Indigenous person, again, we welcome you. 4th of July weekend, I want to say, is a pretty good time. It's a horrible time for you guys to come over that bridge, I'm sure. But it's a great time for us as Wampanoag people to open our doors to the outside community and welcome you into ours. So I want to personally, cordially invite each and every one of you to come on down and check out this powwow we've been having for, I don't know, what was it, the last 105, 106, 100, we've lost count after a century or so of such a good time. And if you guys want to come down and shake your booty with us after we're done shaking it here today, hopefully you will, and come down, meet our families, bring your families. Bring a tent, bring your bathing suit, because you guys already know we got all those good beaches. Love to go dig some clams with you. But needless to say, we got a lot to share well beyond today. But first and foremost, some of you guys are familiar with the name Roger Williams? Yeah? I see a couple heads shaking out there. I know this place ain't Providence Plantation, now known as the state of Rhode Island, but he's responsible for that. He was one of the missionaries that arrived shortly after the Mayflower itself, early 1600s, and he recorded quite a bit. He actually took the time to ask questions and inquire, not impose imperialistic views. It was quite a different research you can get from reading Roger Williams' writings. Even still today, a lot of scholars who are not native impose their views of what they believe they observe. However, he actually tried to understand what he was seeing, and according to him, one of the first things he observed was before he even landed here on our shores, and it was a ceremony to us, many of us, but it's also protocol. It's just something that we have to do. And according to him, he saw a group of Narragansett women. They saw his ship coming over the horizon. They dropped what they were doing, put their baskets of clams or whatever down, joined hands and did a dance that we often start with. So anytime we as Indigenous people have a place to gather, we have to give thanks for that place. And we have to do it with those that we are thankful to gather with. So we want to thank the town of Reading for having us come out here and to share these songs that when we say welcome relatives, when we say thank you relatives, we're not just being stingy again with us human beings. I don't know how many of us take into consideration all that these trees are providing literally as we speak and breathe and consume what they are offering without us requesting, without us having to go on Amazon.com, without us having to get in our Tesla to go pick it up. These trees are providing us, and that is why we call them our relatives. So when we say Katapatanamu, Wachimomimi Tonkwasok, that is how we say thank you,
Wow,
all
look,
my
everybody
relations.
joined.
So
I love that.
we thank you, our fellow human being relations. Don't
Wanna
be
do an
afraid
inner
to go
circle?
right around that tree. That way the tree is inside with us, you know, because as I'm explaining, the trees are our relatives. They are part of our communities, and all of our plant and animal relatives we like to treat equally. So the good thing about a circle, there is no hierarchy. We all get to see one another, and we all get to come together and face one another as we give thanks for this beautiful space. So this will be the round dance, and it's only up to you guys which way we go. We go left or right. Luckily, you only have those two directions to choose from. We do have some dancers out there who might help coordinate that. Quite possibly two different circles, it looks like. Looks like two different circles have created, and it could be possible they could go in different directions. It's up to the dancers to decide. I believe I'm the little drummer boy, and luckily I got my female backup singer. So follow along our lead dancers, I guess, and I hope everyone feels the medicine that we create every time we give thanks. This is just yet one another Thanksgiving that we provide each and every day. Thank you guys for participating in our round dance.
You guys on the outside, you're going to start going to the right. The inside circle, we're going to start stepping to the left. The beat will change. Just keep eyes on us, and we'll switch directions. I get it right.
Spread that medicine. Bring it in real close, people. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Don't be shy around your relatives. Katapatanamu, thank you all. That was a pretty cool start. Hopefully you feel that medicine. This is what we call good medicine, folks. Should not come in a pill form, ever. So, mind, body, and spirit. I think a lot of us are familiar with the term. I don't know how much of us actually follow it and totally understand it, you know. A lot of us hopefully eat our Wheaties, do our chin-ups and push-ups and all that good stuff, you know. But needless to say, that's all just physical health, you know. We can't just focus on that. It's a great part of our life, but to focus on. But your mental health, those of us who are still in education, any form, we're training our brains, hopefully supplying it with the right nutrients to have a healthy mental health. But sometimes we have too much on our minds and we have to free our minds, and I don't know if enough people even get opportunities for that in today's climate. And then of course the spirit. I don't know how many people really stop to think, what is my spirit? What feeds it? What antagonizes it? There's things that we need to consider about our spirit. And I want to say anybody who shakes their booty, usually it's hard to have a horrible feeling when you're doing that, I want to say. So finishing that puzzle that you put away and just never finished, usually that fulfills your spirit. There's a lot of ways that we can do that. So in many ways we give thanks. And physical artwork that you have seen from Native Americans telling stories of Thanksgiving. Literally what you just did was a form of Thanksgiving, but you get to carry that medicine with you. And again, a lot of these songs and dances, particularly that one, even loved ones who are going through illnesses, possibly miles away, continents away, who knows, we can keep them in mind through our spirit when we do these spiritual ceremonies in different ways. So again, can't thank you guys enough. That would have looked really lame if it was just us few folks here representing our nation. And you guys really made it look like they usually do when we do these dances in our community. So I think next up would be a pretty simple dance that we can get into. I think Mosquito is usually a very nice way to kind of segue in. We got some far more complex dances than you're about to see, but we're going to get a couple dancers to come out and demonstrate real quick, just to give you a quick little rundown on what this Mosquito dance entails. So you do need a partner, as you're noticing. It takes a little coordination just to get out there, obviously. Now you'll notice they are joining pinkies. The same pinky, not a left to right, same pinky. Now, as they face one another, they'll be dancing to the rhythm, and they'll pretty much be doing it in place. You will notice a spin when you notice the change in the tempo of the rhythm. Some of you noticed it during the round dance you just did. The rhythm of the drum told us whether to stop or change directions. So again, some things need not be spoken, so we're just going to get right into this brief demonstration of the Mosquito dance. Well done, well done. Pretty easy, right? Takes a little coordination. Like I said, hardest part should be finding that partner. So those of you who have already accomplished that, you should be coming on out. Make some space for yourselves. Try not to bump in or kick each other. Try not to kick your partner either. That's usually not cool. Usually this is done often throughout the year, but definitely as this mosquito season approaches.
Jim and Adequate need partners.
Do we have any volunteers? We got a volunteer right behind you, Adequate.
Adequate right behind you. Jim Peters is a dance machine. I just want you guys to know it.
So, needless to say, we get plenty of mosquitoes here. We personally didn't like walking around, waving our hands, smelling like DEET. I don't know how many people like to smell like that stuff, that chemical. But needless to say, this was a dance that we've created to honor the mosquito being. So the microscopic beak is what your pinky represents. You guys are kind of two mosquitoes interacting with one another. Okay, so be friendly, right? But mosquitoes usually kind of live above ground. So instead of standing in place, okay, we're going to ask you to kind of hop as you do these kicking motions. There you go. That looks great. And that's to the rhythm of the drum, okay, which she will be keeping tempo for this song. As the tempo changes and you get the chance to do the spin, you do try to continue hopping and kicking and spinning. So again, that's a little difficult. I know I might have asked a bit much for the first dance here, but if you do this properly, they say, no mosquitoes will bite you for the entire season. So let's just put our best foot forward, shall we say, and hopefully no one gets it in their shin. Okay? So we're going to turn it over. This is the mosquito dance.
You
Well, Michelle, we can all blame Michelle for that strong finish. What a strong finish.
Excellent job. Thank you.
You gotta
Well
get your heart rate going, you know?
There's your cardio for the week, for the month of May. Well done, folks. I didn't see anyone pass out or collapse.
Everybody all right?
It's always a good sign.
Who's
Always
gonna
a good
get
sign.
stung? I want to know who got kicked.
Any mosquito bites? Yeah,
Everybody good? Okay, good.
no other welts like in the shin area, hopefully, as mentioned. Successful mosquito dance then. Well done, bravo. So we have many Thanksgivings again, as you guys are hopefully realizing and demonstrating once again. So every day, as I mentioned, as a Wampanoag, to give thanks for that sun is to give thanks for that first light. That is a Thanksgiving in itself, literally sunrise ceremonies. Some of you can participate in the solstice sleepovers we have, built a Wetu out in Truro. And for those of you who are familiar with the Cape, it's the very tip that gets the sunlight very, very first. And it was literally right there in that proximity, Truro, where we built a Wetu with fine folks like yourself who helped me to build this Wetu. And we gather under it now. Originally we were gathering under the stars, sleeping on the beach, in high anticipation of greeting that sun. And it was really honestly something that I felt, as an adult, I feel I was prevented to do it as a child, and it wasn't until COVID that I got to ask some people, can you kindly not call the cops on me if I can just like sleep on the beach and greet my son as I'm supposed to? And they chuckled and thought I was joking, but then they actually realized how serious I was, especially the moment they found themselves sleeping on that cold beach under those stars. We had a fire, and we did the best we could for that first year, but we now have a Wetu that literally, if you guys have never heard of that or know what I'm talking about, it's our traditional homes. And if you guys ever got trapped in those square houses that a lot of us are forced to live in today, there's not a single thing in nature that's reminding us it should ever be done in a square. So in the entire universe, if you want to expand your mind even further, we do things in a circle for many reasons. You guys are demonstrating that through each and every dance, and again, each and everything in this universe demonstrates that each and every day. So try not to ignore the lessons that nature is still providing for us. We do have a lot of distractions in today's society. So as Indigenous people, we simply observe what we're seeing, and we try our best to honor them in the ways that we can. So literally right down to that little microscopic mosquito we just honored, and I think that would be a good segue into maybe like an alligator dance. Because speaking of the migration of our people, thousands of years ago, this was covered in ice, as many of us know, until the squirrel lost his acorn, I believe it was, and split the ice. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, we all saw that. Needless to say, that was back when this land was uninhabitable, before people could show up and see these mountainous hills that unfortunately no longer remain right here, and they took the identity of this land, which was the Great Barren Hill Place, once they saw it. Once that ice melted. So as we got to the Cape and called ourselves the First Light people, we came from the southern regions. I mean, it's just common sense. So all of this attack on our southern relatives who are over an imposed border that did not exist, we call this continent Turtle Island. And literally, if you are familiar with the Navajo Nation, Navajo is, I think, knife-wielding thief. And they never wanted to be called Navajo. That was what the Spanish called them in a malicious manner, actually. Dene means the people. And for those of you who are familiar with linguistic languages, Dene is from the Athabascan language family up in Alaska. So thousands of years ago, they migrated south from Alaska. And that honestly probably predates the Bering Strait theory, where everyone tries to say we crossed that land bridge to get here. However, continental evidence, such as archaeological evidence, has always been found to link us much further back in history down near the equator. So any other South American relatives, until they came up here and started eating clams, as you can see, once we got these clams in us, we started to grow a lot taller, as you can see. So again, you're welcome to enjoy our diet. There's a lot of benefits to it, but you're welcome to enjoy these dances, because this next dance, the last one prevents you from mosquitoes. This one prevents our entire region from the alligators that, when we left that southern region, we realized swamps and marshes and all these great waterways we have up here are very hospitable to our alligator relatives, but we didn't want to necessarily have them following us up here, so we kind of continued doing this dance to keep them out of here. So you're welcome, because it seems to be working, and you're welcome to help us keep that going. So again, we're going to do a brief demonstration. You'll notice it will take, again, a partner to do this dance as well. This will be the alligator dance. Come on out, partners. Come on out. Trish, push those kids out here, will you? Come on out. Push them kids out here, Trish. Let's go. Let's party like it's 1491. Let's go. So we are gonna, I believe, try to make somewhat of a circle. So whoever has a partner already, you guys want to line up behind these partners. That way the lead dancer can kind of guide everyone. And we can make this circle as big as we needed to, just like we did with the round dance. So again, really want to thank the town of Reading for giving us this accommodating location, such a beautiful outdoor space. We want to thank the Great Spirit and the ancestors in the universe for preventing those clouds to hold off for a minute and let these skies clear up just for us to be here and gather once again. And I want to thank all you alligators out there. Look at all you alligators out there. You guys looking good. You little four-legged things, you. Look at you.
Give yourself space to spin.
Guys got extra legs. Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs. Well done. Hardest part's finding a partner. So our lead dancer will set a pace, which I guess the drummer boy here will set for him. However, try to keep up or follow his pace. It will start off slow and eventually get a little faster. I notice there's a lot of people who have decided to sit this one out or stand it out. You don't get off the hook, okay? Can't thank those of you enough who have contributed your time and space here and do this dance to demonstrate it. But those of us who are sitting this one out, if you heard the response, ho-yo, ho-yo, a simple way-ha, simple way-ha at an appropriate time. Usually that time is ho-yo, like it's a party, okay? Got to spread that vibe. Hopefully they can hear us around the entire town if we do this right. Those of you who are dancing, your cue to spin, I don't know if you guys saw that little spin move we're doing, okay? No pirouettes, okay? I haven't studied the art of dance, but I believe a pirouette is when you put your hand over your head and do that whole spin thing. No fancy stuff, just a quick little spin. One spin, plenty, plenty. That's the alligator whipping its tail, okay? And for those of you who haven't figured out, well, why do I need a partner? I think you should have figured it out because the alligators have those four legs we were talking about, and we had to borrow a couple legs just to get this thing done. So your cue to spin will be Yane! Please try not to let me pass out, folks. I'm going to hold that note as long as I can or need to allow you to complete your spin. I notice some folks aren't spinning. I'm gonna try my best to keep it going, but you know I'm gonna get blue in the face. It's gonna be ugly, folks. We don't want that. So needless to say, the beat will start. He's gonna start dancing slow. Try not to encroach. If the circle gets smaller and smaller, you're gonna get closer and closer, and no one's gonna have room to move, let alone spin without bumping into other partners. So there's a reason why both of your hands are locked together. Generally, whoever's on the inside of the circle, you're the pivot. Okay, you kind of swing that person. Whoever's on the outside, hope you got a good set of legs on you. Okay, they're going to be sending you right on around each and every time. Okay, and we're just going to do our best to get right through this and honor these alligators and prevent them from coming up here to New England. So thanks again for helping us with our pest control. Beautiful rendition that was. Glad to see you all survived. Them alligators, they can put up a pesky fight though. Them alligators, they make you earn it, right? Yeah. So that was just, again, one of the many Thanksgivings we have, and many that we've brought with us as we've migrated and, you know, called this place home for, again, the thousands of years that we've always resided here since that ice melted. So really glad we could share these. We often do entertain question and answer because we know that a lot of times the audience has information they may not have been aware of until they meet some individuals. Chances are maybe there was something prior to today's greeting when you, I think, knew you were going to meet a Native American. I would think maybe there's some anticipation or inquisition questions. So we do have another microphone here if one of our one of our group members wouldn't mind sharing that with the audience. So by a show of hands, if anyone does have questions to inquire about things they've observed either here today or prior to today, saw a movie once, didn't know if you could believe some of the nonsense we can see on television sometimes. So feel free to ask any questions.
Hi. What is something you hope people understand after seeing your hit songs and dances about the Wampanoag?
Well, we like to, this is community. It's about community, that we all do things together, and we enjoy each other's company. We do different things together, and it's important that we know each other. You know, like and these type of social songs are something that we do all the time to bring our folks together. You know, learning how we all interact together, and so this is what that's about. Coming together.
Thank you. Thank you. This is so fun.
I'll add on to that. I think a big part of why we do this, we do these at schools, we do these together in our community. It's to teach. I have two little ones here. I bought them along because I want them to see our culture and how we do these things. Another part is for you all to take these things and to bring them back home, bring them to your friends, share your experience, share your knowledge that you learned, and understand that our people are still here. Sometimes you hear about us as if we're people of the past. I wear Nike sneakers, I wear windbreakers. You see my kids, they're dressed in regalia and regular street clothes. And it's just an exhibition of us still being here, still evolving as a people. And yeah, we're just here to share our culture and everything that we have learned from our elders.
I noticed that color highlights talking about culture and resilience. I just want to know, what does resilience mean to the Wampanoag community today?
That's an easy one for me. So I'm from the Wampanoag tribe over near the Cape Cod Canal, that river you guys cross, and we just got an executive order last year that actually my partner helped write. Who's the governor? I forget. The governor signed it, and actually state recognized us because we've had all the history of intermarriages and connections between our sister tribes of Mashpee and Aquina, who are both federally recognized, and those three groups we make up the Wampanoag Nation, and then we have other mixtures of sister tribes along the way as well. So that's what perseverance means to my community. There's only 200 of us enrolled citizens, so and we're still here. We've been here for thousands and thousands of years. So. Good question.
I'll add on to that one as well. Resilience, personally to me, is taking teachings from our past, exhibit them in today's life, and also protecting the land. The land, like my uncle who's been singing, Anawan has been saying, is part of who we are, and the only way for us to be here is by protecting the land. If all of our land is developed, if all of our lakes back home are dried up or contaminated where we can't swim in those waters, then it kind of changes our identity. So us being able to protect the land protects ourselves. Back home we have a saying that we are the land and the land is us. So we treat it as our own being. We love humor. If anybody has a joke, they can share that too.
What is one thing young people can do to keep learning after today's event?
I guess first, I don't know what to consider young people, so I don't want to age anybody. I'm not here to judge. But needless to say, nature, I think, again, just a very powerful teacher, very powerful teaching tool. A lot of the young people today are, spend a lot of time indoors, if not on technology, and things that I don't know how much interaction we have. As younger adults ourselves, we were very happy to be outdoors on more than daily occasions if we could, because that was kind of all you had. So I understand there's a lot of distractions today, a lot of choices, options, but again, that mind, body, and spirit, like really honestly take yourself into consideration. And if you even are on the internet or social media, you know, really honestly got to think about your mental health on that place, you know. There's a lot of things in this society, so continue learning. Nature is truth, you know. It's just it's never lied. It's never gonna. It's always going to teach us stuff that we should learn and embrace. A lot of times, like I said, these square houses, they literally kind of work against the environment, like against what it's trying to teach us. So be aware, observe, and life is a journey. Life is a ceremony, and it's a constant learning lesson. So just spend as much time as you guys can outdoors, and also, obviously, respect your elders. Listen to them, too.
I keep on adding my like 2 cents. I'm in a really absorbing stage of my life. I feel like as a younger adult or younger teen, I thought I was growing up and learning new things, and then I had kids and I realized I didn't know anything. But no, I would say to keep on learning and look for understanding in everything. A big part of what he said is really like respect your elders, listen to your elders. Sometimes you learn things in school, you get so lost in your journey of life and education, and sometimes you miss teachings from your elders before they pass over, and it's valuable knowledge. Sometimes they may not express it in a way of high vocabulary, but the knowledge that they have, you could relate it to some of the things that you do today. And protect the earth, and look for understanding in everything. The trees, the animals, fish, everything, you know. That's my 2 cents.
More questions? Anybody? There you go, right over here, Adequate. We got.
Thank you so much for being here. I've learned so much already, and I'm heading to your homeland next. So I appreciate you and all you have, and your nation has. I'm going to say give it, but I know we took it. Your advice about respecting the environment and listening to the messages of our environment, I think those are important messages. I'm wondering what specifically we can do to help the indigenous nations in our community, such as our state seal, which has such a horrible message, such as land acknowledgements. I've heard mixed lessons about land acknowledgements. I'm just wondering where we might rise and do something specific to help get rid of the stereotypes and the violence that has always been directed towards our predecessors here, our indigenous nations. Thank you.
I can do my best to thank you, because that was a great, not really a question per se. It's more or less, an awareness from what I just observed. I just want to quickly say, before I pass the microphone to Jim, who can speak specifically to the seal portion of that statement. The Witu that I built, that I just invited you to sleep over and greet the sun with me, it's not my braids, it's not my height, it's not my cheekbones, it's not a lot of those stereotypes that you're talking about. It has nothing to do with what clothes I'm wearing. It's when we greet the sun. So you're welcome to come be a Wampanoag with me and sleep over that night, because those are the things that we need to do to maintain our identity. And we're all very grateful, hopefully, every time we go to that place we call Cape Cod or home. And there's many ways and many reasons to give thanks, but that is a very particular one that, again, we do invite folks to. And I wouldn't be able to invite you into a Witu if I didn't have kind folks like you who helped me build the Witu. And I think a lot of folks out here in the public have been tasked with this land acknowledgement stuff. When I first heard about it, it was a challenge for me, because I'm like, well, our identity, as you can tell, as indigenous people, acknowledges the pretty much solely, that's it. Like, our entire existence is the land acknowledgement per se. As I tell everybody, writing foreign words in a foreign language written in a Roman alphabet on a square piece of paper, if that doesn't reinforce colonization, and of course just leaving it there for somebody else to read, let alone just reading it ourselves sometimes, don't know how that's acknowledging any part of the land or the people. And I try to make people clear, it's not about me per se. I'll be gone and I'll be dust, but this land is still going to be here. And it's for our children, our great-grandchildren to inherit, and I don't want to leave it in a mess for them. But needless to say, while we are here, we get to make these changes and make these physical erections of building stuff, you know, like rather than putting a piece of paper on a wall or a door or wherever. It's literally almost the least you can do, I want to say, when those are being done. And I understand the intention, but my father always said, road to hell is paved with good intentions. So actions I really need from people. You know, a lot of people come up to me and tell me how sorry they are about what might have happened, and some of them are probably polluting and doing stupid stuff today that, you know, I need actions, I need follow-up. I don't need pats on my back. I need help. I need help to keep my resources alive. We fight hard to get our cedar. Cedar is what we bury our loved ones on. We don't go in a casket. We go back to the earth, the same fetal position. Some of us, the ancestors, went in a fetal position in that way, but we still bury our loved ones on a cedar bed right in the ground, no concrete. We had to fight the government to allow us to put our people in the ground that way and prove these things that, again, to this day, we're still on our land doing the things that we've kind of always done. And when I can do a we-two, like build a we-two right here in Reading with you folks, people who participated in the ceremony, my medicine man, he's from the Herring Pond community. I'm a Mashpee Wampanoag, so he's actually the medicine man of another community. But I hope you understand this nation that we've been talking about today. Wampanoag Nation Dancers and Singers is actually a nation here today. We have Herring Pond and Mashpee. We've got people from Bermuda that are part of our nation, sent away as slaves. I don't know if she emphasized enough about her personal past, but she's more than proud to talk about that. So as Indigenous people, there's a lot to learn, as I mentioned, from the land, but also to give thanks for that the land still provides. So cedar is in a wetlands. It's usually a federal crime to enter those areas and tamper with them and harvest. So it's things, again, that we fight hard for so that we can share them with you. Anyone who ever peeled the cedar, who participated in the ceremony where we gathered the cedar and thanked the cedar, kind of like we did with the round dance earlier, anyone who was there, public was there, they still talk about it. It was one of the most powerful things they've ever witnessed. And you kind of feel better than reading a piece of paper, like I said, I'm sure. You could still go there, like I said, you could still sleep over. Got to get out there and make some repairs. This winter was pretty rough, as you guys know. But needless to say, I would love to do it here. I'd love to do, we burn canoes. Some of you have heard about canoes being burnt out in Boston and nearby areas up here because we're trying to raise that awareness. And also, those things stand for themselves. Anytime you can introduce any art space for a native artist, the art itself speaks to the connection of the land and acknowledges the people far more than any statement I feel ever could. So I do want him to speak on the seal because that is being addressed. I don't know if it has been resolved.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Some 40 years ago, my father promoted to look at this, try to pass legislation to have the state look at the seal and decide whether it was a negative connotation. You know, most of the other states in the country, they've taken away their negative state seals and so forth. And Massachusetts is one of the last. You know, like my real job, which I followed my father's footsteps on the director of the Commission on Indian Affairs for the Commonwealth, and since I've been there, you know, for the last 20 years, we've been trying to talk about changing the state seal and looking at that, and I'm on the commission, you know, going through that process, and it's been interesting listening to the different connections that people have. You know, Miles Standish's sword on there, you know, he used that to contain the native people and to get them to sign deeds, put their X on deeds, and they were taking land and so forth, and that's been, I think, the Pilgrim, you know, leader, you know, he said you just can't take the Indian land, you have to have a deed. So that's what he did, going out and doing that, and we have a lot of people who are connected to that and feeling that that is part of the the history of Massachusetts, one of the first colonies here, and what they did in order to establish America here in this country, and beginning to take this country in the first colony. So I've looked at that and listening to all the discussions and so forth, and found myself, saying, it is a true depiction of what happened to us, and maybe it should stay there, even though I know that it should change, and not continue to portray, that history that we all live with. So the commission, we put out a call to the citizens of Massachusetts to give us some alternatives, and we had almost 1,500, suggestions on, what a new state seal should be, but none of them really had a theme, that was consistent with the history of Massachusetts, and some say the seal is a representation of the people, or how they see themselves, or their state, and so forth. So it's been one of those continuous arguments. So right now we're finding ourselves at an impasse and not knowing, how to change the seal. My position has been to take the sword off, and leave the native. I think it's important to have an indigenous theme, here in Massachusetts, that's named after a tribal nation. And so we're still working on it, and I think in the very near future we will have something that is going to represent the citizens of Massachusetts. And of course the representatives the senators and the representatives will vote on the changes that we propose, and we'll see where that goes. And I'm not sure, what direction we're going, at this point. I think it might go back to taking the sword off and changing the regalia for the native, but we shall see. We're running out of time. We spent 3 years already, and it's time to do something. But it's a complicated thing, and we really look for feedback from the citizens of Massachusetts, and we'll continue to do that. So I thank you for bringing that up. It's an important discussion.
By a show of hands, who was aware of your state's seal? Okay. It's actually better than I thought. So, just awareness. Awareness, sometimes, especially the younger population, they're not aware of these things. Sometimes they just see it as a state seal, and it just has a sword, it has an Indian. But as he said, Miles Standish, that's his sword, as it's held over a Native American's head. And it's almost, like Jim is saying, it's almost like accountability, having to see that's what some people represent. But having the awareness in your heart is what matters most. So if you can make any change, it's to, like I said, look for understanding, find value in things, and communicate that. Communication is a big tool, and if you could communicate with people and teach them and let them know where your heart is and where you support our people, the first people of this land, that's the biggest thing that you could do.
And on our stationery, and you'll find that Miles Standish's sword is on all of them. It's part of our town seal as well. Just to be aware.
Thank you so
Tough
much.
touch.
More questions?
What are some ways that schools and communities can support your guys' community respectfully?
I visit schools. That's kind of what I do. Been in quite a few this week. Very fortunate. Somerville High School nearby has an alternative high school for kids going through more issues than the average teenage child has to deal with in high schools. And I'm very grateful they have the alternative school for those students. Some of us probably could have used that ourselves during our high school years. But as an educator, I often get asked to do the usual typical third grade social studies requirement that I'm pretty sure any of you who are in this audience who attended school here in the Commonwealth, you guys probably know and went through what I'm talking about. I'll be very shocked if I'm not looking at some of my alumni that I actually visited your class. If you can remember back to your third grade, I probably made a Cornhusk action figure with you, and you might still have it. Met a lot of college students who remind me I've been doing it that long. But needless to say, you know, it's literally kind of just filling that almost like Pilgrim narrative and Thanksgiving portion of the American history. I try and tell people, you know, math, science, again, nature is a powerful teaching tool in a classroom. And anytime I can, you know, teach high school students science through observation of nature and things like that. We were able to visit the Alewife area. Mystic Lakes has an area for the herring to come up, and any of us in the Wampanoag Nation know that we are the only indigenous group in the Commonwealth that are allowed to still harvest the herring. There was a moratorium put on those fish that come up the rivers right now, literally happening as we speak. And many people used to get them and use them as bait to go catch the prize stripers out at sea. But they were depleting the numbers in addition to a lot of other environmental hazards on the encroachment of the herring survival. So we made a strong case, as we have. I've pretty much mentioned a few historic cases that our tribe still maintains, and the working with us to, again, just find ways that we're not just in the past. My nephew spoke about that earlier. We're not just history. We're not just a social studies history requirement. Science is great stuff that you can learn through the indigenous lens, as we like to call it, you know. I noticed some of you maybe even in college. I've worked with Tufts, and again, probably about 30 years ago, I want to say, it was probably my first visit. And the guy had the nerve to tell me, you know, I go out to the Navajo Nation with my class every year. And I was like, well, what about us? And he skips right over us because I guess we weren't a big enough tribe. Navajo Nation, and for those of you who are familiar with them, they are the largest group of indigenous people on this continent currently, particularly here in the United States. But he skips right over the local tribes. So there's a lot that we can do to support our local tribes if you guys do travel out west to visit reservations. And how many of us don't want to go to Hawaii and experience their culture? But a lot of people in New England don't even stop to think, what is the local culture? And trust me, it's the cranberries, it's them clams we were talking about earlier. And I wasn't lying when I said I would love to put you in my canoe and take you out in my clams. So the class this week didn't have the permissions in Somerville, but when I meet them next May 13th on the Mystic Lakes, I don't know if you guys will be around, but I'm going to have my canoe with me again, and hopefully they got their permissions in order, because those high school students have probably never stepped foot in a canoe, let alone harvested herring with me. And again, it's illegal to do it on your own, and literally some of us are the only people that can allow you to do it. I was very impressed when Alaska, while I was visiting their community, not only did I see the culture throughout the entire community itself, the indigenous communities all throughout Alaska, but Anchorage is a pretty big city. For those of you who ever travel up there, you're going to love the nightlife and everything you're going to find in Anchorage. But the Anchorage High School requires each and every one of you, if you guys were public school students at the Anchorage High School, you guys have to skin and gut and butcher seal and scrape the poo out of its intestines. And I saw young ladies like yourselves doing that, and they weren't complaining about their nails or anything while they were doing it. And they had to do it as a high school requirement to graduate. They had to butcher and boil up all that fat, render it down into a good grease, you know, so it could be distributed amongst the people. I was so proud that this was an ongoing tradition, that you cannot graduate in their region without knowing their culture. So again, I'm really happy if I have been able to work in this community with some of you as younger students, but there's a lot more we can do to benefit people. Our lessons weren't only impactful to us long ago, they're probably more impactful to each and every one of us today. So thank you for asking that.
I just want to add, in addition to, you know, all of the ways that you can support Indigenous artists. There's an incredible wampum artist right down there under the tent. Check her work out. Anawan is also an incredible wampum artist.
What is wampum?
Wampum? That's a good question. Well, you've seen some on Anawan. Some of us are wearing some wampum. It's the quahog clam shell. It's a hard shell clam, and it is from here. And it is a clam that has sustained life for thousands and thousands of years. And the work of the shell, the making beads and pieces that can be worn as a part of adornment, has been going on for thousands of years. And we have incredible contemporary wampum makers. Wampum Moon right down there under that tent. Check her work out. And seek out, I would encourage you to seek out indigenous artists, whether they're musicians or theater artists or filmmakers, and check out how they tell stories through their art, because every form of art is storytelling, and that is a way that we get to know each other. So I just wanted to add that. And I think we have to wrap up now with a closing number.
We have Wampanoag tribal members representing in so many different areas. Robert, the Wamp Warrior, he's a professional boxer. He represents our culture in the ring, fighting. All of our sister tribes in this area between Mashpee, Narragansett, out in Rhode Island, you have Mashantucket Pequot, Eastern Pequot in Connecticut, Mohegan in Connecticut. You may have heard of Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun. Those tribes in those areas have powwows all throughout the month of August. Every weekend you could find one. There is a website called powwows.com where these powwows are all throughout the country. At powwows, it is an exhibition of our culture. More intimate and communal events are our socials, but look for just artists in general, and try to attend our events and promote it.
Mashpee Powwow, 4th of July weekend.
Yep, and Wampanoag Singers and Dancers, we do educational events at schools. Whether it's indoor, outdoor. Native American Heritage Month is just one month that gets very busy, but we represent our culture all the time. So if you want to go back to your teachers, your principals, whoever you need to encourage to have us come to your school and share our culture, some of these dances, some of these songs, we could have artists there. I'm sure we can make something happen. But thank you very much, Katapatanamu. I appreciate you all for attending, and we'll be closing up.
So, been standing around getting stagnant here. Can't have that. Got to have a strong finish. Thank you for those of you who have sustained this entire duration of our entire performance. And those of you who were here at the very beginning. We came in with the Robin Dance. Robin Dance, you may have noticed, single file format, kind of came in and just did a quick little circle around here. Was it Robin or Stomp? Stomp. Okay, so different single file dance. I'm glad we were able to share the Robin Dance with you. A similar format, single file, nothing fancy. I know I threw a lot of athletic stuff at some of you guys. I'm pretty sure a lot of folks had no idea what they got themselves into until they were out there, probably well over their heads, especially in public. I'm pretty sure a lot of us don't do this kind of stuff in public too often. So again, can't thank you guys enough. You guys made today a tremendous performance. Give yourselves a round of, one more round of applause for yourself. Give it up for yourself, will you? Come on, don't be shy, okay? Because we appreciate you, we really do. And this will just be a single file dance. That way I'll get to sing and dance with you once again. I haven't been able to do too much of that, but it'll be a single file dance that as I was taught, when I was taught these songs in this particular dance, this is the dance we bring to the things that cannot come to us. So again, as I've been trying to reiterate, and a lot of your questions and awareness has already made me feel very comfortable that so many people in this audience are aware of this environment and all that it does for us. But as an Indigenous person, we know that these trees can't come to us. We call them our grandfathers. They've been here longer, and they do actually retain energy from even other visitors prior to us physically being here today in our lives. So stones and rocks also tend to do this. many of those are traditional gathering places historically and still remain today. So again, if you find yourself drawn to any of these spaces in nature, I'm pretty sure there's a reason. I think it's called divine intervention or something amongst some of you guys. But needless to say, these things like collect our energy. So we're just going to put a little of that energy out into our community, our relatives here. So as a stomp dance, we have no idea where this could go because again, there is no distinct route we take when we do this. We just kind of try to, again, spread it around. So I am going to make sure we get down to see Sawney so that you guys know where to find all this cool wampum she's talking about. She'll be selling her stuff right down the end here, but don't think it's safe for us to go across pedestrian crosswalks, so I think I might have to keep it to the green itself here, but let's line up, and as we do, we try to maintain balance. So male and female energy, we do our best to line up in that way, as you may have noticed when we came in, male and female. So again, not here to judge. As best you can to just line up and join us. Any of you who have something to shake, keys, a bottle, got a bottle with something in it or maybe a little bit of liquid in it, and you can shake along and help us keep rhythm. So you can hear the rhythm in your feet when you're indoors doing these in some spaces, and I'm pretty sure other people have ways to contribute rhythmically. The dance itself is a call and response song and dance. So for those of you who heard, "Ho-yo," you notice that it just takes the call, and usually the group here knows the response. So if you hear my group responding, they're not words, okay? And if they are words, they're probably about as specific as fa la 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 la, which I don't think means much of anything, but it does inspire us to feel festive at a specific time of year. So again, these are like a chant, if you will, and you guys are welcome to join in with the responses, because again, that really makes it sound like a community, and I'm sure these ancestors, these trees, these plants, and the birds, and all these other relatives will be able to retain that energy, because they are familiar with these songs. These songs have been sung here for thousands of years, so let's feed the people, let's feed the community, and line up best we can. We want to thank you all for allowing us to be here today. And again, we'll be sticking around. We do have some vendors down there if we didn't get some questions answered. So I'll be leading this one if you guys want to line up behind me. And again, invite you guys to shake along with us. So this will be the stomp dance.